Good evening, everyone, and welcome to, I believe it's Zoom Shakespeare's 21st production. Tonight is Titus Andronicus. This is the first of two nights, two casts. We hope you enjoy Titus Andronicus.
Noble patricians, patrons of my right, defend the justice of my cause with arms, and countrymen, my loving followers, plead my successive title with your swords. I am his firstborn son, that was the last that wore the imperial diadem of Rome. Let my father's honors live in me, nor wrong mine age with this indignity.
Romans, friends, followers, favorers of my right, ever Bassianus, Caesar's son, were gracious in the eyes of royal Rome. Keep then this passage to the capital, and suffer not dishonor to approach the imperial seat. To virtue consecrate, to justice, conscience, and nobility. But let desert and pure election shine, and Romans, fight for freedom in your choice.
Princes that strive by factions and by friends, ambitiously for rule and empery, know that the people of Rome, for whom we stand a special party, have by common voice chosen Andronicus, surnamed Pius, for many good and great deserts to Rome. A nobler man, a braver warrior, lives not this day within the city walls. She by the Senate is exited home from weary wars against the barbarous Goths, that, with her daughters a terror to our foes, hath yoked a nation strong, trained up in arms. 10 years are spent since first she undertook this cause of Rome, and chastised with arms our enemy's pride. 5 times she hath returned, bleeding to Rome, bearing her valiant daughters in coffins from the field. And now, at last, laden with horror's spoils, returns the good Andronicus to Rome. Renowned Titus, flourishing in arms, let us entreat by honor of her name, whom worthily you would have now succeed, and in the capital and senate's right, whom you pretend to honor and adore, that you withdraw you, and abate your strength, dismiss your followers, and as suitors should, plead your deserts in peace and humbleness.
How fair the tribune speaks to calm my thoughts.
Marcus, Andronicus, so I do ally in thy uprightness and integrity, and so I love and honor thee and thine, thy noble brother Titus and his sons, and to her whom my thoughts are humbled all, gracious Lavinia, Rome's rich ornament, that I will here dismiss my loving friends, and to my fortunes and people's favor commit my cause, in balance to be weighed.
Friends that have thus been forward in my right, I thank you all, and here dismiss you all, and to the love and favor of my country commit myself, my person, and the cause.
Hail, Rome, victorious in thy morning weeds. Lo, as the bark that hath discharged her fraught returns with precious jading to the bay, from whence at first she weighed her anchorage, cometh Andronicus, bound with laurel bows, to resalute her country with her tears, tears of true joy for her return to Rome. Thou great defender of this capital, stand gracious to the rights that we intend. Romans, of 25 valiant sons, half the number that King Priam had, behold, the poor remains, alive and dead. These that survive, let Rome reward with love, and these that I bring unto their latest home with burial amongst their ancestors, here Goths have given me leave to sheathe my sword. Titus, unkind and careless of thine own, why sufferest thy sons, unburied yet, to hover on the dreadful store of Styx? Make way to lay them by their brethren. There greet in silence as the dead are wont, and sleep in peace, slain in your country's wars. Sacred receptacle of my joys, sweet cell of virtue and nobility, How many sons of mine hast thou in store that thou wilt never render to me more?
Give us the proudest prisoner of the Goths, that we may hew his limbs, and on a pile ad manas fratrum sacrifice his flesh before this earthly prison of their bones, that so the shadows be not unappeased, nor we disturbed with prodigies on earth.
I give him you, the noblest that survives, the eldest son of this distressed queen.
Stay, Roman brethren. Gracious conqueror, victorious Titus, rue the tears I shed, a mother's tears and passion for her son. And if thy daughters were ever dear to thee, oh, think my son to be as dear to me. Suffice it not that we are brought to Rome, to beautify thy triumphs and return captive to thee and to thy Roman yoke. But must my sons be slaughtered in the streets for valiant doings in their country's cause? Oh, if to fight for king and commonweal were piety, and thine it is in these. Andronicus, stain not thy tomb with blood. Wilt thou draw near the nature of the gods? Draw near them, that in being merciful, sweet mercy is nobility's true badge. Thrice noble Titus, spare my firstborn son.
Madam, and pardon me, these are their brethren, who you Goths beheld, alive and dead, and for their brethren slain religiously they ask a sacrifice. To this your son is marked, and die he must, to appease their groaning shadows that are gone.
Away with him, and make a fire straight, and with our swords upon a pile of wood, let's hew his limbs till they be clean consumed.
Oh, cruel, irreligious piety!
Was ever Scythia half so barbarous?
Oppose not Scythia to ambitious Rome. Largus goes to rest, and we survive to tremble under Titus's threatening looks. Then, madam, stand resolved, but hope with all the self-same gods that armed the queen of Troy with opportunity of sharp revenge. Upon the Thracian tyrant in his tent may favor Tamra, queen of the Goths, when Goths were Goths and Tamra was queen, to quit the bloody wrongs upon her foes.
See, Lord and Father, how we have performed our Roman rites. Balarbus' limbs are lopped and entrails feed the sacrificing fire, whose smoke like incense doth perfume the sky. Remaineth not, but to inter our brethren, and with loud larums welcome them to Rome.
Let it be so, and let Andronicus make this her last farewell to their souls. In peace and honor rest you here, my children. Rome's readiest champions repose you here in rest, secure from worldly chances and mishaps. Here lurks no treason, here no envy swells. Here grow no damned grudges, there are no storms, no noise, silence, and eternal sleep. In peace and honor rest you here, my children.
In peace and honor live Lord Titus long. My noble lord and mother live in fame. Lo, at this tomb my tributary tears I render from my brethren's obsequies, and at thy feet I kneel with tears of joy shed on the earth for thy return to Rome. Oh, bless me here with thy victorious hand, whose fortunes Rome's best citizens applaud.
Kind Rome, that hast thus lovingly reserved the cordial of mine age to glad my heart. Lavinia, live, outlive thy mother's days, and fame's eternal date for virtue's praise.
Long live Lord Titus, my beloved sister, gracious triumpher in the eyes of Rome.
Thanks, gentle tribune, noble brother Marcus.
And welcome, nephews, nieces from successful wars, you that survive and you that sleep in fame. Titus Andronicus, the people of Rome, whose friend in justice thou hast ever been, send thee by me their tribune and their trust. this palliament of white and spotless hue, and name thee in election for the empire. With these our late deceased emperor's sons, daughters, be candidatus then, and put it on, and help to set a head on headless Rome.
A better head her glorious body fits than this that shakes for age and feebleness. What, should I don this robe and trouble you? Be chosen with proclamations today, tomorrow yield up rule, resign my life, and set abroad new business for you all? Rome, I have been thy soldier 40 years, and led my country's strength successfully, and buried 21 valiant sons, knighted in field, slain manfully in arms, in right and service of their noble. Give me a staff of honor for mine age, but not a scepter to control the world. Upright he held it that held it last.
Titus, thou shalt obtain and ask the empery.
Proud and ambitious tribune, canst thou tell?
Patience, Prince Saturninus.
Romans, me right. Patricians, draw your swords and sheathe them not till Saturninus be Rome's emperor. Andronicus, would thou wert shipped to hell rather than rob me of the people's hearts.
Proud Saturnine, interrupter of the good that noble-minded Titus means to thee.
Content thee, Prince. I will restore to thee the people's hearts and wean them from themselves.
Andronicus, I do not flatter thee, but honor thee, and will do till I die. My faction, if thou strengthen with thy friends, I will be most thankful be, and thanks to men of noble minds is honorable meed.
People of Rome, and people's tribunes here, I ask your voices and your suffrages. Will you bestow them friendly on Andronicus?
Yay!
Aye.
Yay!
Thank you. And this suit I make, that you create your emperor's eldest son, Lord Saturnine, whose virtues I will, I hope, reflect on Rome as Titans raise on earth, and ripen justice in this commonweal. Then, if you will elect by my advice, crown him and say, long live our emperor.
With voices and applause of every sort, patricians and plebeians, we create Lord Saturninus, Rome's great emperor, and say, long live our Emperor Saturnine.
Titus Andronicus, for thy favors done to us in our election this day, I give thee thanks in part of thy deserts, and will with deeds requite thy gentleness, and, for an onset, Titus, to advance thy name and honorable family. Lavinia will I make my empress, Rome's royal mistress, mistress of my heart, and in the sacred Parthenon her espoused. Tell me, Andronicus, doth this motion please thee?
It doth, my worthy lord. And in this match I hold me highly honored of your grace. And here in sight of Rome to Saturnine, king and commander of our commonweal, the wide world's emperor, do I consecrate my sword, my chariot, and my prisoners. Presents well worthy Rome's imperial lord. Receive them then, the tribute that I owe, mine honors and signs humbled at thy feet.
Thanks, noble Titus, father of my life. How proud I am of thee and thy gifts. Rome shall record, and when I do forget the least of these unspeakable deserts, Romans, forget thy fealty to me.
Now, madam, are you prisoner to an emperor, to him that for your honor and your state will use you nobly and your followers.
A goodly lady, trust me, of the hue that I would choose were I to choose anew. Clear up, fair queen, that cloudy countenance. Though chance of war hath wrought this change of cheer, thou comest not to be made a scorn in Rome. Princely shall be thy use every way. Rest on my word, and let not discontent daunt all your hopes, madam. he comforts you, can make you greater than the Queen of Goths. Lavinia, are you not displeased with this?
Not I, my lord, sith true nobility warrants these words in princely courtesy.
Thanks, sweet Lavinia. Romans, let us go. Ransomless here we set our prisoners free. Proclaim our honors, lords, with trump and drum.
Lord Titus, by your leave, this maid is mine.
How, sir? Are you in earnest then, my lord?
Hey, noble Titus, and resolved withal to do myself this reason and this right.
Suum quicque is our Roman justice. This prince injustice seetheth but his own.
And that he will and shall if Lucius live.
Traitors! Avaunt! Where is the Emperor's guard? Treason, my lord! Lavinia is surprised.
Surprised? By whom?
By him that justly may bear his betrothed from all the world away.
Brothers, help to convey her hence away, and with my sword I'll keep this door safe.
Follow, my lord, and I'll soon bring her back.
My lord, you pass not here.
What? Villain girl! Barrest me my way in Rome?
Lucius, help!
My lord, you are unjust. More than so, in wrongful quarrel you have slain your daughter.
Nor thou, nor she, are any child of mine. My children would never so dishonor me, traitor. Restore Lavinia to the emperor.
Dead, if you will, but not to be his wife. That is another's lawful promised love.
No, Titus, no, the emperor needs her not. Nor her, nor thee, nor any of thy stock. Oh, trust by leisure him that mocks me once. Thee never, nor thy traitorous, haughty sons, confederate all thus to dishonor me. Was there none else in Rome to make a stale but Saturnine? Full well, Andronicus, agree these deeds without proud brag of thine, that said I begs the empire at thy hands.
Oh, monstrous. What reproachful words are these?
What? Go thy way, go, give that changing piece to him that flourisheth for her with this sword. A valiant son-in-law thou shalt enjoy, one fit to bandy with thou lawless sons to ruffle in the commonwealth of Rome.
These words are razors in my wounded heart.
And therefore, lovely Tamora, Queen of Goths, that like the stately Phoebe mongst her nymphs dost overshine the gallous dames of Rome. If thou be pleased with my sudden choice, behold, I choose thee, Tamora, for my bride, and will create thee Empress of Rome. Speak, Queen of Goths, dost thou applaud my choice? And here I swear by all the Roman gods, sith priest and holy water are so near, and tapers burn so bright, and everything in readiness, where Hymenaeus stand, I will not resalute the streets of Rome, or climb my palace, till from forth this place I lead espoused my bride along with me.
And here, in sight of heaven, to Rome I swear, if Saturnine advance the Queen of Goths, she will a handmaid be to his desires, a loving nurse, a mother to his youth.
Ascend, fair Queen Pantheon. Lords, accompany your noble emperor and his lovely bride, sent by the heavens for Prince Saturnine, whose wisdom hath her fortune conquered. There shall we consummate our spousal rights.
I am not bid to wait upon this bride. Titus, when wert thou wont to walk alone, dishonored thus, and challenged of wrongs?
O Titus, see what thou hast done. In a bad quarrel slain a virtuous daughter.
No, foolish tribune, no, no child of mine, nor thou, nor these, confederates in the deed. Thou hast dishonored all our family, unworthy brother and unworthy girls.
But let us give her burial, as becomes give Mucius burial with our brethren.
Traitors away. She rests not in this tomb, this monument 500 years hath stood, which I have sumptuously re-edified. Here none but soldiers and Rome's servitors repose in fame, none basely slain in brawls. Bury her where you can, she comes not here.
My lord, this is impiety in you. My niece Mutius' deeds do plead for her. She must be buried with her brethren.
And shall, or she we will accompany.
And shall? What villain was it that spake that word?
He that would vouch it in any place but here.
What? Would you bury her in my despite?
No, noble Titus, but entreat of thee to pardon Mutius and to bury her.
Marcus, even thou hast struck upon my crest, and with these girls mine honor thou hast wounded. My foes I do repute you every one. Trouble me no more. Get you gone.
She is not with herself. Let us withdraw.
Not I, till Mucius' bones be buried.
Brother, for in that name doth nature plead.
Father, in that name doth nature speak.
Speak thou no more, if all the rest will speed.
Renowned Titus, more than half my soul.
Dear father, soul and substance to us all.
Suffer thy brother Marcus to inter his noble niece here in Virtue's nest, that died in honor and Lavinia's cause. Thou art a Roman. Be not barbarous. The Greeks upon advice did bury Ajax, that slew himself, and wise Laertes' son did graciously plead for his funerals. Let not young Mutius then, that was thy joy, be barred her entrance here.
Rise, Marcus, rise. The dismalest day is this that e'er I saw to be dishonored by my girls in Rome. Well, bury her and bury me the next.
Here lie thy bones, sweet Mucius, with thy friends, till we with trophies do adorn thy tomb.
No man shed tears for noble Mutius. She lives in fame that died in virtue's cause.
My lord, to step out of these dreary dumps, how comes it that the subtle queen of Goths is of a sudden thus advanced in Rome?
I know not, Marcus, but I know it is. Whether by device or no, the heavens can tell. Is she not then beholden to the man that brought her for this high good turn so far? Yes, and will nobly him remunerate.
Oh, Bassianus, you have claimed your prize. God give you joy, sir, of your gallant bride.
And you of yours, my lord. I say no more, nor wish no less, and so I take my leave.
Traitor, if Rome have law, we have power. Thy and thy faction shall repent this rape.
Rape, you call it, my lord, to seize my own, my truth, betrothed, loved, and now my wife. But let the laws of Rome determine it all. Meanwhile, I am possessed of that is mine.
'Tis good, sir. You are very short of us, but if we live, we'll be as sharp with you.
My lord, what I have done, as best I may, answer I must, and shall do with my life. Only thus much I give your grace to know, by all the duties that I owe to Rome, this noble gentleman, Lord Titus here, is in opinion and in honor wronged, in that the rescue of Lavinia with his own hand did slay her youngest child, in zeal to you, and highly moved to wrath, to be controlled, and that he frankly gave, receive him then to favor Saturnine, that hath expressed himself in all his deeds, a father and a friend to thee and Rome.
Prince Bassianus, have leave to plead my deeds. 'Tis thou and those that have dishonored me, Rome and the righteous heavens, be my judge, how I have loved and honored Saturnine.
My worthy lord, if ever Tamara were gracious in those princely eyes of thine, then hear me speaking indifferently for all, and at my suit, sweet, pardon what is past.
And what, madam, be dishonored openly, and basely put it up without revenge?
Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you. But on mine honor dare I undertake, for good Titus' innocence in all, whose fury not dissembled speaks her griefs, then at my suit look graciously on her. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict her gentle heart. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. You are but newly planted in your throne. Less than the people and patricians too, upon a just survey, take Titus' part, and so supplant you for ingratitude, which Rome reputes to be a heinous sin. Yield it in treats, and then let me alone. I'll find a day to massacre them all and raise their faction and their family, the cruel mother and her traitorous children, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and make them know what 'tis to let a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain. Come, sweet emperor, come, Andronicus. Take up this good old lady and cheer the heart that dies in tempest of the angry frown.
Rise, Titus, rise, my empress hath prevailed.
I thank you, your majesty, and her, my lord. These words, these looks infuse new life in me.
Titus, I'm incorporate in Rome, a Roman now adopted happily, and must advise the emperor for his good. This day, all quarrels die, Andronicus. And let it be mine honor, good my lady, that I have reconciled your friends and you. For you, Prince Bassianus, I have passed my word and promise to the emperor that you will be more mild and tractable. And fear not, lords, and you, Lavinia. By my advice, all humbled on your knees, you shall ask pardon of his majesty.
We do, and vow to heaven and to his highness that what we did was mildly as we might, tendering our sister's honor and our own.
But on mine honor, here I do protest.
Away and talk not, trouble us no more.
Nay, nay, sweet emperor, we must all be friends. The tribune and his nieces kneel for grace. I will not be denied. Sweetheart, look back.
Marcus, for thy sake and thy sister's here, and at my lovely Tamora's entreats, I do remit these young men's heinous faults. Stand up. Lavinia, though you left me like a churl, I found a friend, and sure as death I swore I would not part the bachelor from the priest. Come, if the emperor's court can feast two brides, you are my guest, Lavinia, and your friends this day shall be a love day, Tamora.
Tomorrow, an it please your majesty, to hunt the panther and the hart with me, with horn and hound, will give your grace. Bonjour.
Be it so, Titus, and gramercy too.
Now climbeth Tamara Olympus' top, safe out of fortune's shot, and sits aloft, secure of thunder's crack or lightning's flash, advanced above pale envy's threatening reach. Then, Aaron, arm thy heart, and fit thy thoughts to mount aloft with thy imperial mistress, and mount her pitch, whom thou in triumph long hast prisoner held, fettered in amorous chains and faster bound to Aaron's charming eyes than as Prometheus tied to Caucasus. Away with slavish weeds and servile thoughts, I will be bright and shine in pearl and gold to wait upon this new-made empress. To wait, said I, to wanton with this queen, this goddess, this siren, that will charm Rome's Saturnine and see his shipwreck and his commonwealth. La, what storm is this?
Chiron, thy years want wit, and thy wit wants edge, and manners to intrude where I am graced, and may, for aught thou knowest, affected be.
Demetrius, thou dost ever ween in all. And so in this, to bear me down with braves. 'Tis not the difference of a year or two, makes me less gracious, or thee more fortunate. I am as able and am as fit as thou, to serve and to deserve my mistress's grace, and that my sword upon thee shall approve, and plead my passions for Lavinia's love.
Clubs, these lovers will not keep the peace.
Why, boy, although our mother, unadvised, gave you a dancing rapier by your side, are you so desperate grown to threat your friends? Go to. Have your lathe glued within your sheath till you know better how to handle it.
Meanwhile, ma'am, with the little skill I have, full well shalt thou perceive how much I dare.
Aye, boy, grow you so brave.
Why, how now, lords? So near the emperor's palace dare you draw, and maintain such a quarrel openly? Full well I walk the ground of all this grudge. I would not for 1,000,000 of gold the cause were known to them it most concerns. Nor would your noble mother for much more be so dishonored in the courts of Rome. For shame, put up!
Not I, till I have sheathed my rapier in his bosom, and withal thrust these reproachful speeches down his throat that he hath breathed in my dishonor here.
For that I am prepared and full resolved. Full-spoken coward, thou thunderest with thy tongue, and with thy weapon nothing darest perform.
Away, I say. Now, by the gods that warlike gods adore, this petty brabble will undo us all. Why, lords, and think you not how dangerous it is to jet upon a prince's right? What, is Lavinia then become so loose, or Bassianus so degenerate, that for her love such quarrels may be broached without controlment? Justice or revenge? Young lords, beware! And should the empress know the discord's ground, the music would not please.
I care not. I knew she and all the world. I love Lavinia more than all the world.
Youngling, learn thou to make some meaner choice. Lavinia is thine elder brother's hope.
Why, are ye mad? Or know ye not, in Rome, how furious and impatient they be, and cannot brook competitors in love? I tell you, lords, you do but plot your deaths by this device.
Aaron, 1,000 deaths would I propose to achieve her whom I love?
To achieve her? How?
Why makest thou so strange? She is a woman, therefore may be wooed. She is a woman, therefore may be won. She is Lavinia, therefore must be loved. What, man, more water glideth by the mill than wots the miller of, and easy it is of a cut loaf to steal a shiv. We know, though Basanius may be the emperor's brother, better than he hath worn Vulcan's badge.
Aye, and as good as Antoninus may.
Then why should she despair that knows to court it with words, fair looks, and liberality? What, hast thou not full often struck a doe, and borne her cleanly by the keeper's nose?
Why, then it seems some certain snatcher so would serve your turns.
Aye, so the turn were served.
Aaron, Thou hast hit it.
Would you had hit it too, then should not we be tired with this ado? Why, harkye, and are you such fools to square for this? Would it offend you then that both should speed?
Faith? Not me.
Nor me, so I were one.
For shame, be friends and join for that you jar. 'Tis policy and stratagem must do that you affect, and so must you resolve, that what you cannot as you would achieve, you must perforce accomplish as you may. Take this of me. Lucrece was not more chaste than this Lavinia, Bassianus' love. A speedier course than lingering languishment must we pursue, and I have found the path. My lords, a solemn hunting is in hand. There will the lovely Roman ladies troop. The forest walks are wide and spacious, and many unfrequented plots there are fitted by kind for rape and villainy. Single you thither when this dainty doe, and strike her home by force, if not by words. This way, or not at all, stand you in hope. Come, our empress, with her sacred wit to villainy and vengeance consecrates, will we acquaint with all that we intend, and we shall file our engines with advice that will not suffer you to square yourselves, but to your wishes height advance you both. The emperor's court is like the house of France, the palace full of tongues, of eyes and ears. The woods are ruthless, dreadful, deaf, and dull. There speak and strike, brave boys, and take your turns. There serve your lusts shadowed from heaven's eye, and revel in Lavinia's treasury.
Thy counsel, lad, smells of no cowardice.
Be it right or wrong, till I find a stream to cool this heat, a charm to calm these fits. Through hellish realms I am carried.
Hunt is up, the morn is bright and gray. The fields are fragrant, and the woods are green. Uncouple here, and let us make a bay, and wake the emperor and his lovely bride, and rouse the prince, and ring a hunter's peal, that all the court may echo with the noise. Girls, let it be your charge, as it is ours, to attend the emperor's person carefully. I have been troubled in my sleep this night, but dawning day new comfort hath inspired. Many good morrows to you, your majesty. Madam, to you as many and as good. I promised your grace a hunter's peal.
And you have rung it lustily, my lord. Somewhat too early for new married ladies.
Lavinia, what say you?
I say no. I have been broad awake 2 hours and more.
Come on then. Horse and chariots let us have, and to our sport. Madam, now shall ye see our Roman hunting?
I have dogs, my lord. Will rouse the proudest panther in the chase, and climb the highest promontory top.
And I have horse will follow where the game makes way, and run like swallows o'er the plain.
Chiron, we hunt not with horse nor hound, but hope to pluck a dainty doe to ground.
He that had wit would think that I had none, to bury so much gold under a tree,
A Goth.
and never have to inherit it. Let him that thinks of me so abjectly know that this gold must coin a stratagem, which cunningly effected will beget a very excellent piece of villainy. And so repose, sweet gold, for their unrest, that have their alms out of the Empress' chest.
My lovely Aaron, wherefore look'st thou so sad, when everything doth make a gleeful boast?
Madam, though Venus govern your desires, Saturn is dominator over mine. What signifies my deadly standing eye? My silence and my cloudy melancholy, my fleece of woolly hair that now uncurls even as an adder when she doth unroll to do some fatal execution? No, madam, these are no venereal signs. Vengeance is in my heart, death in my hand, blood and revenge are hammering in my head. Hark, Tamara, the empress of my soul, which never hopes more heaven than rest in thee. This is the day of doom for Bassianus. His female must lose her tongue today. Thy sons make pillage of her chastity, and wash their hands in Bassianus' blood. Seest thou this letter? Take it up, I pray thee, and give the king this fatal plotted scroll. Now question me no more, we are espied. Here comes the parcel of our hopeful booty, which dreads not yet their lives' destruction.
Oh, my sweet Moor, sweeter to me than life.
No more, great empress. Bassianus comes. Be cross with him, and I'll go fetch thy sons to back thy quarrels whatsoe'er they be.
Who have we here? Rome's royal empress, unfurnished of her well-beseeming troop? Or is it Diane, habited like her, who hath abandoned her holy groves to see the general hunting in this forest?
Saucy controller of our private steps, had I the power that some say Diane had, thy temple should be planted presently with horns, as was Actaeon's, and the hounds should drive upon thy new transformed limbs, unmannerly intruder as thou art.
Under your patience, gentle empress, 'tis thought you have a goodly gift in horning, and to be doubted that your Moor and you are singled forth to try experiments. Jove shield your husband from his hounds today. 'Tis pity they should take him for a stag.
Believe me, queen, your swarth Cimmerian doth make your honor of his body's hue spotted, detestable, and abominable. Why are you sequestered from all your train, dismounted from your snow-white goodly steed, and wandered hither to an obscure plot, accompanied but with a barbarous Moor, if foul desire had not conducted you?
And being intercepted in your sport, great reason that my noble lord be rated for sauciness. I pray you let us hence, and let her joy her raven-colored love. This valley fits the purpose passing well.
Ooh, the king, my brother, shall have note of this.
Aye, for these slips have made him noted long. Good king to be so mightily abused.
Why have I patience to endure all this?
How now, dear sovereign and our gracious mother, why doth your highness look so pale and wan?
Have I not reason, think you, to look pale? These two have ticed me hither to this place, a barren, detested vale, you see it is. The trees, though summer, yet forlorn and lean, o'ercome with moss and baleful mistletoe. Here never shines the sun, here nothing breeds, unless the nightly owl or fatal raven. And when they showed me this abhorred pit, they told me here, at dead time of the night, 1,000 fiends, 1,000 hissing snakes, 10,000 swelling toads, as many urchins would make such fearful and confused cries as any mortal body hearing it should straight fall mad or else die suddenly. No sooner had they told this hellish tale, but straight they told me they would bind me here into the body of a dismal ewe and leave me to this miserable death. And then they'd called me foul adulteress, lascivious Goth, and all the bitterest terms that ever ear did hear to such effect. And had you not by wondrous fortune come, this vengeance on me had they executed, revenge it as your loved your mother's life, or be ye not henceforth called my children.
This is a witness that I am thy son!
And this for me, struck home to show my strength.
Come, Semiramis, nay, barbarous Tamara, for no name fits thy nature but thy own.
Give me thy poniard. You shall know, my children, your mother's hand shall right your mother's wrong.
Oh, stay, madam. Here is more belongs to her. First thrash the corn, then after burn the straw. This minion stood upon her chastity, upon her nuptial vow, her loyalty, and with that painted hope braves your mightiness, and shall she carry this unto her grave.
And if she do, I were an eunuch, drag hence her husband to some secret hole, and make his dead trunk pillow to our lust.
And when ye have the honey ye desire, let not this wasp outlive us both to sting.
To you, madam, I make that sure. Come, mistress, now perforce we will enjoy that nice preserved honesty of yours.
O Tamara, thou bearest a woman's face.
I will not hear her speak. Away with her.
Sweet lords, entreat her, hear me but a word.
Listen, fair madam, let it be your glory to see her tears, but be your heart to them as unrelenting flint to drops of rain.
When did the tiger's young ones teach the dam? Oh, do not learn her wrath, she taught it thee. The milk thou suck'st from her did turn to marble. Even at thy teat thou hadst thy tyranny. Yet every mother breeds not sons alike. Do thou entreat her, show a woman pity.
What? Wouldst thou have me prove myself a bastard?
'Tis true, the raven doth not hatch a lark. Yet have I heard, oh, could I find it now, the lion, moved with pity, did endure to have his princely paws pared all the way. Some say that ravens foster forlorn children, the whilst their own birds famish in their nests. Oh, be to me, though thy hard heart say no, nothing so kind, but something pitiful.
I know not what it means. Away with her.
Oh, let me teach thee, for my father's sake, that gave thee life when well he might have slain thee. Be not obdurate, open thy deaf ears.
Hadst thou in person ne'er offended me, even for his sake am I pitiless. Remember, I poured forth tears in vain to save your brother from the sacrifice, but fierce Andronicus would not relent. Therefore, away with her. Use her as you will. The worse to her, the better loved of me.
Be called a gentle queen, and with thine own hands kill me in this place. For 'tis not life that I have begged so long. Poor I was slain when Bassianus died.
What beggest thou then, fond woman? Let me go.
'Tis present death I beg. I've one thing more that womanhood denies my tongue to tell. Oh, keep me from their worse than killing lust, and tumble me into some loathsome pit where never man's eye may behold my body. Do this, and be a charitable murderer.
So should I rob my sweet children of their fee? No. Let them satisfy their lust on thee.
Away! For thou hast stayed us here too long.
No grace, no womanhood? Ha, beastly creature! The blot and enemy to our general name! Confusion! Fall!
Nay, then I'll stop your mouth. Bring thou her husband. This is the hole where Aaron bid us hide him.
No.
Farewell, my children. See that you make her sure. Ne'er let my heart know merry cheer indeed, till all the Andronici be made away.
No.
Now will I hence to seek my lovely more, and let my spleenful children this trawl deflower.
No!
Come on, my lords, the better foot before, straight will I bring you to the loathsome pit, where I feed the panther fast asleep.
My sight is very dull, whate'er it bodes.
And mine, I promise you, were it not for shame, well could I leave our sport to sleep a while. Ah!
What, art thou fallen? What subtle hole is this, whose mouth is covered with rude growing briars, upon whose leaves are drops of new shed blood, as fresh as morning dew distilled on flowers? A very fatal place it seems to me. Speak, brother, sister, hast thou hurt thee with the fall?
Oh, sister, what the dismalest object hurt that ever I with sight made heart lament.
Now will I fetch the king to find them here, that he thereby may give a likely guess how these were they that made away his brother.
Why dost not comfort me and help me out from this unhallowed and blood-stained hole?
I am surprised with uncouth fear. A chilling sweat o'erruns my trembling joints. My heart suspects more than my eyes can say.
To prove thou hast a true divining heart, Aaron and thou look down into this den and see a fearful sight of blood and death.
Aaron is gone, and my compassionate heart will not permit mine eyes once to behold the thing whereat it trembles by surmise. Oh, tell me how it is, for ne'er till now was I a child to fear I know not what.
Lord Bassianus lies embrued here, all on a heap like to a slaughtered lamb in this detested dark blood-drinking pit. Oh, sister, help me with thy fainting hand, if fear hath made thee faint as me it hath, out of this fell-devouring receptacle, as hateful as Cocytus' misty mouth.
Reach me thy hands, that I may help thee out, or, wanting strength to do thee so much good, I may be plucked into the swallowing womb of this deep pit. Poor Basania's grave. I have no strength to pluck thee to the brink.
Nor I no strength to climb without thy help.
Thy hand once more, I will not lose again. Till thou art here aloft or I below, thou canst not come to me, I come to thee. Ah!
On with me, I'll see what hole is in here, and what he is that now has leaped into it. Hey, who art thou that lately didst descend into this gaping hole of the earth?
The unhappy child of old Andronicus, brought hither with a most unlucky hour to find thy brother Bassianus dead.
My brother dead? I know thou but jest. He and his lady both are at the lodge upon the northern side of this pleasant chase. 'Tis not an hour since I left them there.
We know not where you left him all alive, but out, alas, here we have found him dead.
Where is my lord the king?
Here, Tamora, though grieved with killing grief.
Where is thy brother Bassianus?
Now to the bottom dost thou search my wound. For Bassianus here lies murdered.
Then all too late I bring this fatal writ. The complot of this timeless tragedy, and wonder greatly that man's face can fold in pleasing smiles such murderous tyranny.
And if we miss to meet him handsomely, sweet huntsman Bassianus 'tis we mean. Do thou so much as dig the grave for him, thou know'st our meaning. Look for thy reward among the nettles at the elder tree, which overshades the mouth of that same pit where we decreed to bury Bassianus. Do this and purchase us thy lasting friends. Oh, Tamora! Whoever heard the like? This is the pit, and this the elder tree. Look, sirs, if you can find the huntsman out that should have murdered Bassianus here.
My gracious lord, here is the bag of gold.
Who of thy whelps, fell curs of bloody kind, have here bereft my brother of his life? So drag them from the pit unto the prison. There let them bide until we have devised some never heard of torturing pain for them.
What are they in this pit? A wondrous thing, how easily murder is discovered.
High Emperor, upon my feeble knee, I beg this boon with tears not lightly shed, that this fell fault of my accursed sons accursed, if the fault be proved in them.
If it be proved, you see it is apparent. Who found this letter tomorrow? Was it you?
Andronicus did take it up.
I did, my lord, and yet let me be their bail, For by my father's revered tomb, I vow they shall be ready at your highness's will to answer their suspicion with their lives.
Thou shalt not fail them. See thou follow me. Some bring the murdered body, some the murderers. Let them not speak a word, the guilt is plain. For by my soul, were there worse end than death, that end upon them shall be executed.
Andronicus, I will entreat the king. Fear not thy children, they shall do well enough.
Come, Lucius, come, stay not to talk with them.
Oh, so now go tell, and if thy tongue can speak, who 'twas that cut thy tongue and ravished thee.
Write down thy mind. Bewray thy meaning so, and if thy stumps will let thee play the scribe.
Oh, see how with signs and tokens she can scrawl.
Go home, call for sweet water, wash thy hands.
Oh, she hath no tongue to call, nor hands to wash. And so let's leave her to her silent walks.
And twere my case, I should go hang myself.
If thou had hands to help thee knit the cord.
Who is this? My niece that flies away so fast? Speak, gentle niece, what stern, ungentle hands have lopped and hewed and made thy body bare of her two branches, those sweet ornaments whose circling shadows kings have sought to sleep in, and might not gain so great a happiness as have thy love. Why does not speak to me? But sure some Titus hath deflowered thee, and lest thou shouldst detect him, cut thy tongue? Ah, now thou turnst away thy face for shame. Shall I speak for thee? Shall I say it is so? Oh, that I knew thy heart and knew thy beast, that I might rail at him to ease my mind. Oh, had the monster seen those lily hands tremble like aspen leaves upon a lute, and make the silken strings delight to kiss them, he would not then have touched them for his life. Come, let us go and make thy father blind, for such a sight will blind a father's eye. 1 hour storm will drown the fragrant meads, but what will whole months of tears thy father's eyes? Do not draw back, for we will mourn with thee. Oh, could our mourning ease thy misery.
Hear me, grave fathers, noble tribunes, stay. For pity of mine age, whose youth was spent in dangerous wars, whilst you securely slept, for all my blood in Rome's great quarrel shed, for all the frosty nights that I have watched, and for these bitter tears which now you see filling the aged wrinkles in my cheeks, be pitiful to my condemned children, whose souls are not corrupted as 'tis thought. For 22 sons I never wept, because they died in honor's lofty bed. For these tribunes in the dust I write my harp's deep languor and my soul's sad tears. Let my tears staunch the earth's dry appetite. My girl's sweet blood will make it shame and blush. Oh, earth, I will befriend thee more with rain, that shall distill from these two ancient burns than youthful April shall with all his showers. In summer's drought I'll drop upon thee still. In winter with warm tears I'll melt the snow and keep eternal springtime on thy face. So thou refuse to drink my dear girl's blood. Oh, reverend tribunes, oh gentle aged men, unbind my girls. Reverse the doom of death, and let me say that never wept before. My tears are now prevailing orators.
Noble mother, you lament in vain, the tribunes hear you not. No man is by. You recount your sorrows to a stone.
Lucius, for thy sisters, let me plead. Grave tribunes, once more I entreat of you.
My gracious lady, no tribune hears you speak.
Why, 'tis no matter, girl. If they did hear, they would not mark me. Or if they did mark, they would not pity me. Therefore, I tell my sorrows to the stones. A stone is soft as wax. Tribunes more hard than stones. A stone is silent and offendeth not. And tribunes with their tongues doom men to death. But wherefore standst thou with thy weapon drawn?
To rescue my two sisters from their death, from which attempt the judges have pronounced my everlasting doom of banishment.
Oh, happy girl, they've befriended thee. Why, foolish Lucius, dost thou not perceive that Rome is but a wilderness of tigers? Tigers must prey, and Rome affords no prey but me and mine. How happy thou art then, from these devourers to be banished! But who comes with brother Marcus here?
Titus, prepare thy aged eyes to weep, or if it not so, thy noble heart to break. I bring consuming sorrow to thine age.
Will it consume me? Let me see it then.
This was thy daughter.
Why, Marcus, so she is.
Me, this object kills me.
Faint-hearted girl, arise and look upon her. Speak, Lavinia, what accursed hand hath made thee handless in thy mother's sight? What fool hath added water to the sea, or brought a torch to bright burning Troy? My grief was at the height before thou camest, and now, like Nilus, it disdaineth bounds. Give me a sword. I'll chop off my hands too, for they have fought for Rome, and all in vain. In bootless prayer have they been held up, and they have served me to effectless use. And now all the service I require of them is that the one will help to cut the other.
Speak, gentle sister, who hath martyred thee?
Oh, that delightful engine of her thoughts has torn forth that pretty hollow cage.
Oh, say thou for her, who hath done this deed?
Oh, thus I found her, straying in the park, seeking to hide herself as doth the deer that hath received from unrecurring wound.
It was my dear, and he that wounded her hath hurt me more than had he killed me dead. For now I stand as one upon a rock, environed with a wilderness of sea. This way to death, my wretched girls are gone. Here stands my other girl, a banished child. And here my brother weeping at my woes. But that which gives my soul the greatest spurn is dear Lavinia. Dearer than my soul, had I but seen thy picture in this plight, it would have maddened me. What shall I do now that I behold thy lively body so? Thou hast no hands to wipe away the tears, no tongue to tell me who hath martyred thee. Thy husband he is dead, and for his death thy sisters are condemned, and dead by this. Look, Marcus, daughter Lucius, look on her. When I did name her sisters, then fresh tears stood upon her cheeks as doth the honeydew upon a gathered lily almost withered.
Perchance she weeps because they killed her husband. Perchance because she knows them innocent.
If they did kill thy husband, then be joyful, because the law hath ta'en revenge on them. No, they would not do so foul a deed. Witness the sorrow that their sister makes. Gentle Lavinia, let me kiss thy lips, or make some sign how may I do thee ease. Shall thy good uncle and thy sister Lucius and thou and I sit round about some fountain, looking all downwards to behold our cheeks, how they are stained as meadows by a flood? Or shall we cut our hands like thine? Or shall we bite our tongues and in dumb shows pass the remainder of our hateful days?
Titus Andronicus, my lord the emperor sends thee this word, that if thou love thy sons, let Marcus, Lucius, or thyself, old Titus, or any one of you, chop off your hand and send it to the king. He for the same will send thee hither both thy sons alive, and that shall be the ransom for their fault.
Gracious emperor, oh gentle Aaron, did e'er a raven sing so like a lark? With all my heart I'll send the emperor my hand. Good Aaron, wilt thou help to chop it off?
Stay, father, for that noble hand of thine that has thrown down so many enemies shall not be sent. My hand will serve the turn. My youth can better spare my blood than you, and therefore mine shall save my brothers' lives.
Which of your hands hath not defended Rome, and reared aloft a bloody battle axe, writing destruction on the enemy's castle? Oh, none of both, but are of high desert. My hand hath been but idle. Let it serve to ransom my two nieces from their death.
Nay, come, agree whose hand shall go along, for fear they die before their pardon come.
My hand shall go.
By heaven, it shall not go.
Let me show a brother's love to thee.
Agree between you. I will spare my hand.
And I'll go fetch an axe.
But I will use the axe.
Come hither, Aaron. I'll deceive them both. Lend me thy hand, and I will give thee mine.
If that be called deceit, I will be honest.
No. Where are they at? Now, stay your strife. What shall be is dispatched. Good Aaron, give his majesty my hand. Tell him it was a hand that warded him from 1,000 dangers. Bid him bury it, and for my girls, say I account of them as jewels purchased at an easy price.
I go, Andronicus, and for thy hand, look by and by to have thy sons with thee. Their heads, I mean. How this villainy doth fat me with very thoughts of it. That fools do good, and fair men call for grace.
Here, I lift this one hand up to heaven, and bow this feeble rune to the earth. If any power pities the wretched tears, to that I call. What? Wilt thou kneel with me? Do then, dear heart, for heaven shall hear our prayers, or with our sighs we'll breathe the welkin dim, and stain the sun with fog, as sometimes clouds when they do hug him in their melting bosoms.
Oh, brother. Oh, sister, speak with possibilities, and do not break into these deep extremes.
Is not my sorrow deep, having no bottom? then be my passions bottomless with them.
But yet that reason governed their lament.
If there were reason for these miseries, then into limits could I bind my woes. Then heaven doth weep, doth not the earth o'erflow? And wilt thou have a reason for this coil? Then give me leave, for losers will have leave to ease their stomachs with their bitter tongues.
Worthy Andronicus, ill art thou repaid, for that good hand thou sent'st the emperor. Here are the heads of my 2 noble sons, and here's thy hand, in scorn to thee sent back. Thy griefs their sports, thy resolution mocked. That woe is me to think upon thy woes more than remembrance of my father's death.
These miseries are more than may be borne. To weep with them that weep doth ease some deal, but sorrow flouted, it is double death.
That the sight should make so deep a wound, and yet detested life not shrink thereat. That ever death should let life bear his name, where life hath no more interest but to breathe.
Why dost thou laugh? It fits not with this hour.
I have not another tear to shed. Besides, the sorrow is an enemy, and would usurp upon my watery eyes and make them blind with tributary tears. And then which way shall I find revenge's cave? For these 2 heads do seem to speak to me. And threat me, I shall never come to bliss till all these mischiefs be returned again. Even in their throats that have committed them. Come, let me see what task I have to do. You heavy people, circle me about, that I may turn me to each one of you and swear unto my soul to right your wrongs. The vow is made. Come, brother, take a head, and in this hand, the other I shall bear. Lavinia, thou shalt be employed. These arms, bear thou my hand. Sweet wench, between thy teeth. As for thee, girl, go get thee from my sight. Thou art an exile, and thou must not stay. Hie to the Goths and raise an army there. And if you love me, as I think you do, let's kiss and part, for we have much to do.
Farewell, Andronicus, my noble mother, the woefulest woman that ever lived in Rome. Farewell, proud Rome, till Lucius come again. He leaves his pledges dearer than his life. Farewell, sweet Lavinia, my noble sister. Oh, would thou wert as thou tofore hast been. But now, nor Lucius nor Lavinia lives, but in oblivion and hateful griefs. If Lucius live, he shall requite your wrongs, and make proud Saturnine and his empress beg at the gates, like Tarquin and his queen.
Help! Grandmother, help! My Aunt Lavinia follows me everywhere. I know not why. Good Uncle Marcus, see how swift she comes. Alas, sweet aunt, I know not what you mean.
Stand by me, Lucius. Do not fear thine aunt.
What would she find? Lavinia, shall I read? This is the tragic tale of Philomel, and treats of Tereus' treason and his rape.
See, brother, see. Note how she quotes the leaves.
Lavinia, Wert thou thus surprised, sweet girl? Ravished and wronged as Philomena was, forced in the ruthless, vast, and gloomy woods. See? See? Ah, such a place there is where we did hunt.
Oh, why should nature build so foul a den unless the gods delight in tragedies?
Give signs, sweet girl. What Roman lord it was durst do the deed?
Sit down, sweet niece. Sister, sit down by me. My lady, look here. Look here, Lavinia. This sandy plot is plain. Guide, if thou canst, this after me, when I have writ my name without the help of my hand at all. Huh? Write, thou good niece, and here, display at last what God will have discovered for revenge.
Chiron and Demetrius.
My lady, kneel down with me. Lavinia, kneel. And kneel, sweet girl, and swear with me that we will prosecute by good advice mortal revenge upon these traitorous Goths, and see their blood, or die with this reproach.
Sure enough, and you knew how. But if you hunt these bear whelps, then beware. The dam will wake, and if she wind you once, she's with the lion deeply still in league, and lulls him while she playeth on her back. And when he sleeps, will she do what she list. You are a young huntsman, Marcus. Let it alone. Come. I will go get a leaf of brass, and with a gad of steel will write these words and lay it by. The angry northern wind will blow these sands like Sibyl's leaves abroad. And where's your lesson then? Girl, what say you?
I say, my lord, that if I were a man, their mother's bedchamber should not be safe from the sad bond to the yoke of Rome.
Aye, that's my girl. My father hath full oft for his ungrateful country done the like.
And uncle, so will I, and if I live.
Come, go with me into mine armory. Lucius, I'll fit thee. And withal, my girl, shall carry from me to the empress's sons presents that I intend to send them both. Come, come, thou'lt do thy message, wilt thou not?
Aye, with my dagger in their bosoms, grandmother.
No, girl, not so. I'll teach thee another course. Lavinia, come. Marcus, look to my house.
Oh heavens, can you hear a good man groan and not relent? Or not compassion him? Marcus, attend him in ecstasy that hath more scars of sorrow in his heart than foeman's marks upon his battered shield, but yet so just that he will not revenge. Revenge, ye heavens, for old Andronicus.
Demetrius, here's the daughter of Lucius. She has some message to deliver us.
Aye, some mad message from her mad grandfather.
My lords, with all the humbleness I may, I greet your honors from Andronicus. And pray the Roman gods confound you both.
Gramercy, lovely Lucius, what's the news?
But you are both ciphered, that's the news, for villains marked with rape. May it please you, my grandmother, well advised, hath sent by me the goodliest weapons of his armory to gratify your honorable youth, the hope of Rome. For so he bade me say, and so I do, and with her gifts present, your lordships, that whenever you have need, you may be armed and appointed well. And so I leave you both like bloody villains.
What's here? A scroll written round about. Let's see. Integer vitae, scelerisque puris, non eget mari jaculus, nec arcu.
Oh, 'tis a verse in Horace. I know it well. I read it in the grammar long ago.
Aye, just a verse in Horace, right. You have it. Now what a thing it is to be an ass. Here's no sound, just the old found their guilt, and sends them weapons wrapped about with lines that wound beyond their feeling to the quick. But were our witty empress well afoot, she would applaud Andronicus' conceit, but let her rest in her unrest a while.
Come, let us go, and pray to all the gods for our beloved mother in her pains.
Pray to the devils. The gods have given us over.
Why do the emperor's trumpets flourish thus?
Belike, for George the Emperor hath a son.
What's up? Who comes here?
Good morrow, lords. Oh, tell me, did you see Aaron the Moor?
Well, more or less, or ne'er a whit at all. Here Aaron is, and what with Aaron now?
Oh, gentle Aaron, we are all undone. Now help, or woe betide thee evermore.
Why, what a caterwauling dost thou keep? What dost thou wrap and fumble in thine arms?
Oh, that which I would hide from heaven's eye. Our empress's shame and stately Rome's disgrace. She is delivered, Lord. She is delivered.
To whom?
I mean, she is brought abed.
Well, God give her good rest. What hath he sent her?
A devil.
Why, then she is the devil's dam, a joyful issue.
A joyless, dismal, black, and sorrowful issue. Here is the babe, as loathsome as a toad. Amongst the fairest readers of our clime, the empress sends it thee, thy stamp, thy seal, and bid thee christen it with thy dagger's point.
Sounds ye whore? Is black so base a hue? Oh, sweet blouse, you are a beauteous blossom, sure.
Villain! What hast thou done?
That which thou cannot undo.
Thou hast undone our mother.
Villain, I have done thy mother.
And therein, hellish dog, thou hast undone! Woe to her chance, and damned her loathed choice! Accursed the offspring of so foul a fiend!
It shall not live.
It shall not die.
Aaron, it must. The mother wills it so.
What? Must it, nurse? Then let no man but I do execution on my flesh and blood.
I'll broach the tadpole on my rapier's point. Nurse, give it me, my sword shall soon dispatch it.
Sooner? This steel shall plow thy bowels up. Stay, murderous villains. Will you kill your brother? Now, by the burning tapers of the sky that shone so brightly when this boy was got, he dies upon my scabbard's sharp point that touches this my firstborn son and heir. What? What, ye sanguine, shallow-hearted boys? Ye white-lined walls! Ye ale-house painted signs! Coal black is better than another hue, in that it scorns to bear another hue. For all the water in the ocean can never turn the swan's black legs to white. Although she lave them hourly in the flood, tell the empress for me, I am of age to keep mine own. Excuse it how she can.
Wilt thou betray thy noble mistress thus?
My mistress is my mistress. This myself, the vigor and the picture of my youth, this before all the world do I prefer. This maugre all the world will I keep safe, or some of you shall smoke for it in Rome.
By this, our mother is forever shamed.
The emperor in his rage will doom her death.
I blush to think upon this ignominy.
Why, there's the privilege your beauty bears. Fie, treacherous hue, that will betray with blushing the close enacts and counsels of the heart. Here's a young lad framed of another leer. Look, how the black slave smiles upon the father as who should say, "Old lad, I am thine own."
Aaron, what shall I say to the empress?
Advise thee, Aaron, what is to be done, and we will all subscribe to thy advice. Save thou child, so we may all be safe.
Then sit we down, and let us all consult. My son and I will have the wind of you. Keep there, and I'll talk at pleasure of your safety.
How many women saw this child of his?
Cornelia, the midwife, and myself, and no one else but the delivered empress.
The empress, the midwife, and yourself. Two may keep counsel when the third's away. Go to the empress, tell her this I said. So cries a pig prepared to the spit.
What meanest thou, Aaron? Wherefore didst thou this?
Oh, Lord, sir, 'tis a deed of policy. Shall she live to betray this guilt of ours? A long-tongued, babbling gossip? No, lords, no. And now be it known to my full intent. Not far one Molly lives, my countryman, his wife, but yesternight was brought to bed. His child is like to her fair as you are. Go pack with him, and give the mother gold, and tell them both the circumstance of all, and how by this their child shall be advanced, and be received for the emperor's heir, and substituted in the place of mine, to calm this tempest whirling in the court, and let the emperor dandle him for his own. Hark ye, lords, ye see I have given her physic, and you must needs bestow her funeral. The fields are near, and you are gallant grooms. This done, see that you take no longer days, but send the midwife presently to me. The midwife and the nurse well made away. Then let the ladies tattle what they please.
Aaron, I see thou wilt not trust the heir with secrets.
For this care of Tamara, herself and hers are highly bound to thee.
Now to the gods, as swift as swallow flies, there to dispose this treasure in mine arms, and secretly to greet the empress friends. Come on, you thick-lipped slave. I'll bear you hence, for it is you that puts us to our ships. I'll make you feed on berries and on roots, and feed on curds and whey, and suck the goat and cabin in a cave, and bring you up to be a warrior and command a camp.
Come, Marcus. Come, kinsman. This is the way. Sir, boy. Now let me see your archery. Look ye draw home enough, and 'tis there straight. Terras astrea reliquit. Be you remembered, Marcus? She's gone, she's fled. Sirs, take to your tools. You, cousins, shall go sound the ocean and cast your nets. Happily you may catch her in the sea, yet there's as little justice as at land. No, Publius and Sempronius, you must do it. 'Tis you must dig with mattock and with spade and pierce the inmost center of the earth. And then, when you come to Pluto's region, I pray you, deliver him this petition. Tell him it is for justice and for aid, and that it comes from old Andronicus, shaken with sorrows in ungrateful Rome. Oh, Rome. Well, I made thee miserable. What time I threw the people's suffrages on him that doth tyrannize over me. Go, get you gone, and pray be careful. And leave you not a man of war unsearched. This wicked emperor may have shipped her hence, and kinsmen, then we may go pipe for justice.
Oh, Publius, is not this a heavy case to see thy noble uncle thus distract?
Therefore, my lord, it highly us concerns by day and night to attend her carefully, and feed her humor kindly as we may, till time begets some careful remedy.
Kinsman, her sorrows are past remedy.
Publius, how now? How now, my masters? Marcus, we are but shrubs. No, cedars we. No, big-boned men framed of the cyclops size. But metal, Marcus, steel to the very back, and yet rung with bronze more than our backs can bear. And sith there's no justice in earth nor hell, we will solicit heaven and move the gods to send down justice for to break our wrongs. Come to this gear. You are a good archer, Marcus. Ad Jovum, that's for you here. Ad Apollinum, here, girl, to Pallas. Here, to Mercury. To Saturn, Caius. Not to Saturnine. You are as good to shoot against the wind. To it, boy. Marcus, loose when I bid. Of my word I have written to effect, there's not a god left unsolicited.
Kinsman, shoot all your shafts into the court. We will afflict the emperor in his pride.
Now, masters, draw.
My lord, I aim a mile beyond the moon. Your letter is with Jupiter by this.
Why, and there it goes. God give his lordship joy. News from heaven. Marcus, the post is come. Sirrah, what tidings? Have you any letters? Shall I have justice? What says Jupiter?
Oh, the gibbet maker. He says that he hath taken them down again, for the man must not be hanged till the next week.
Huh. But what says Jupiter, I ask thee?
Alas, sir, I know not Jupiter. I never drank with him in all my life.
Why, villain, art thou not the carrier?
I have my pigeons, sir. Oh, nothing else.
Why, didst thou not come from heaven?
From heaven? Alas, sir, I never came from there. God forbid I should be so bold to press to heaven in my young days. Why, I am going with my pigeons to the tribunal plebes to take up a matter of a brawl betwixt my uncle and one of the imperial's men.
Why, sir, that is as fit as can be to serve for your oration. and let him deliver the pigeons to the emperor from you.
Tell me, can you deliver an oration to the emperor with a grace?
Nay, truly, sir, I could never say grace in all my life.
Sirrah, come hither. Make no more ado, but give your pigeons to the emperor. By me, thou shalt have justice at his hands. Hold. Meanwhile, here's money for thy charges. Give me pen and ink. Sirrah, can you with a grace deliver a supplication?
Aye, sir.
Then here is a supplication for you. And when you come to him, at the first approach, you must kneel and then kiss his foot. Then deliver up your pigeons and then look for your reward. I'll be at hand, sir. See you do it bravely.
I warn you, sir. Let me alone.
Sirrah, hast thou a knife? Come, let me see it. Here, Marcus. Fold it in the oration. For thou hast made it like a humble supplicant. And when thou hast given it to the emperor, knock at my door and tell me what he says.
God be with you, sir. I will.
Come, Marcus, let us go. Publius, follow me.
Why, lords, what wrongs are these? Was ever seen an emperor in Rome thus overborne, troubled, confronted thus, and for the extent of eagle justice, used in such contempt? My lords, you know, as know the mightful gods, however these disturbers of our peace buzz in the people's ears, they're not but past, but even with law against the willful sons of old Andronicus. And what, and if his sorrows have so afflicted his wits, shall we thus be afflicted in wreaks, his fits, his frenzy, and his bitterness? And now he writes to heaven for the redress. See, here's to Jove, and this to Mercury, this to Apollo, this to the gods of war, sweet scrolls to fly about the streets of Rome? What's this but libeling against the Senate, and blazoning our injustice everywhere? A goodly humor, is it not, my lords? As who would say, in Rome no justice were. But if I live, his feigned ecstasy shall be no shelter to these outrages. But he and his shall know that justice lives in Saturninus' health, whom if she sleep he'll so awake, as she in fury shall cut off the proud conspirator that lives.
My gracious lord, my lovely Saturnine, calm thee, and bear the faults of Titus' age, the effects of sorrow for her valiant children, whose loss hath pierced her deep and scarred her heart.
What news with thee, Emilius?
Arm, my lord. Rome never had more cause. The Goths have gathered head, and with a power high-resolved men, bent to the spoil. They hither march amain under conduct of Lucius, daughter to Andronicus, who threats, in course of this revenge, to do as much as Coriolanus ever did.
Is warlike Lucius general of the Goths? I now begin our sorrows to approach. Is he the common people love so much? Myself have often overheard them say, when I have walked like a private man, that Lucius's banishment was wrongfully, and they have wished that Lucius was their emperor.
Why should you fear? Is not your city strong?
Aye, but the citizens favor Lucius, and will revolt from me to succor her.
King, be thy thoughts imperious like thy name. Is the sun dimmed that gnats do fly in it? Then cheer thy spirit, for know thou, emperor, I will enchant the old Andronicus with words more sweet and yet more dangerous than baits to fish or honey stalks to sheep.
But she will not entreat his daughter for us.
If Tamara entreat her, then she will. Go thou before, be our ambassador. Say that the emperor requests a parley of warlike Lucius, and appoint the meeting, even at his father's house, the old Andronicus.
Emilius, Do this message honorably, and if she stand on hostage for her safety, bid her demand what pledge will plead her best.
Your bidding shall I do efficiently.
Now will I to that old Andronicus and temper her with all the art I have.
And go successfully and plead to her.
Approved warriors and my faithful friends, I have received letters from great Rome, which signify what hate they bear their emperor and how desirous of our sight they are. Therefore, great lords, be as your titles witness, imperious and impatient of your wrongs. And wherein Rome hath done you any scath, let him make treble satisfaction.
Brave slip sprung from the great Andronicus, whose name was once our terror and now our comfort, whose high exploits and honorable deeds in grateful Rome requites with foul contempt. Be bold in us, we'll follow where thou leadst, and be avenged on cursed Tamara.
Oh, worthy Goth, this is the incarnate devil that robbed Andronicus of his good hand. This is the pearl that pleased your empress's eye, and here is the base fruit of his burning lust. Say, wall-eyed slave, whither wouldst thou convey this growing image of thy fiend-like face? Why dost not speak? What, deaf? Not a word? A halter, soldiers! Hang him on this tree, and by his side the fruit of bastardy.
Touch not the boy. He is of royal blood.
Too like the sire for ever being good. First hang the child, that he may see it sprawl, a sight to vex the father's soul withal. Give me a ladder.
Lucius, save the child. If thou do this, I'll show thee wondrous things that highly may advantage thee to hear. If thou wilt not, befall what may befall, I'll speak no more, but vengeance wrought you all.
Say on, and if it please me which thou speakst, thy child shall live, and I will see it nourished.
And if it please thee, why, I assure thee, Lucius, 'twill vex thy soul to hear what I shall speak. For I must talk of murders, rapes, and massacres, acts of black night, abominable deeds, complots of mischief, treason, villainies, and this shall all be buried by my death. Unless thou swear to me my child shall live.
Tell on thy mind. I say thy child shall live.
Swear that he shall, and then I will begin.
Who should I swear by? Thou believest no God.
What if I do not, as indeed I do not, yet, for I know thou art religious, and hast a thing within thee called conscience. Therefore thou shalt vow by that same God, what God soe'er it be, that thou adorest and hast in reverence, to save my boy, to nourish and bring him up. Or else I will discover not to thee.
Even by my God, I swear to thee I will.
First know thou, I begot him on the empress.
Most insatiate and luxurious woman.
Lucius, this was but a deed of charity to that which thou shalt hear of me anon. 'Twas her 2 kids that murdered Bassianus. They cut thy sister's tongue, and ravished her and cut her hands, and trimmed her as thou sawest.
Detestable villain, call'st thou that trimming?
Why, she was washed and cut and trimmed, and 'twas trim sport for them that had the doing of it.
Barbarous, beastly villains like thyself.
Indeed. I saw their tutor to instruct them. I was their tutor to instruct them. That cotting spirit had they from their mother. That bloody mind, I think they learned of me. Well, let my deeds be witness of my worth. I trained thy brethren to that guileful hole where the dead corpse of Bassianus lay. I wrote the letter that thy father found and hid the gold within the letter mentioned. And when I had it, drew myself apart. And when I told the empress of this sport, she swooned almost at my pleasing tale. Oh, and for my tidings gave me 20 kisses.
What, canst thou say all this and never blush?
I, like a black dog, as the saying is.
Art thou not sorry for these heinous deeds?
I, that I had not done 1,000 more. Even now I curse the day, and yet I think few come within the compass of my curse, wherein I did not some notorious ill, as kill a man, or else devise his death, ravish a maid, or else devise his death, ravish a maid, or plot the way to do it, accuse some innocent and forswear myself, set deadly enmity between two friends, make poor men's cattle break their necks, set fire on barns and haystacks in the night, and bid the owners quench them with their tears. Oft I have digged up dead men from their graves and set them upright at their dear friends' doors, even when their sorrows almost were forgot, and on their skins, as on the bark of trees, have with my knife carved in Roman letters, "Let not your sorrow die." Though I am dead, I have done 1,000 dreadful things as willingly as one would kill a fly, and nothing grieves me heartily, indeed, but that I cannot do them 10,000 more.
Bring down the devil, for he must not die so sweet a death as hanging presently.
If there be devils, would I were a devil, to live and burn in everlasting fire, so I might have your company in hell, but to torment you with my bitter tongue.
Sirs, stop his mouth! Let him speak no more.
My lord, there is a messenger from Rome desires to be admitted to your presence.
Welcome, Emilius. What's the news from Rome?
Lord Lucius, and you, Princess of the Goths, the Roman Emperor greets you all by me. And, for she understands you are in arms, she craves a parley at your father's house, willing you to demand your hostages, and they shall immediately be delivered.
What says our general?
Emilius, let the emperor give his pledges unto my mother and my uncle Marcus, and we will come.
Thus, in this strange and sad habiliment, I will encounter with Andronicus and say I am Revenge, sent from below, to join with her and right her heinous wrongs. Knock at her study, where they say she keeps to ruminate strange plots of dire revenge. Tell her Revenge is come to join with her and work confusion on her enemies.
Who doth molest my contemplation? Is it your trick to make me ope the door so that my sad decrees may fly away and all my study be to no effect? You are deceived. What I mean to do, see here, in bloody lines I have set down, and what is written shall be executed.
Titus, I am come to talk with thee.
No, not a word. How can I grace my talk, wanting a hand to give it action? Thou hast the odds of me, therefore, no more.
If thou didst know me, thou wouldst talk with me.
I am not mad. I know thee well enough. For our proud empress, mighty Tamara, is not thy coming for my other hand?
No, thou sad woman, I am not Tamara. She is thy enemy, and I thy friend. I am Revenge, sent from the infernal kingdom to ease the gnawing vulture of thy mind, by working wreakful vengeance on thy foes. Come down and welcome me to this world's light. Confer with me of murder and of death. There's not a hollow cave or lurking place, no vast obscurity or misty veil, where bloody murder or detested rape can couch for fear, but I will find them out, and in their ears tell them my dreadful name, Revenge, which makes the foul offender quake.
Art thou Revenge? And art thou sent to me to be a torment to mine enemies?
I am. Therefore come down and welcome me.
Do me some service ere I come to thee. Lo by thy side, where rape and murder stands, now give me some assurance that thou art Revenge. Stab them, or tether them on thy chariot wheels, and then I'll come and be thy wagoner, and whirl along with thee about the globe. Provide thee two proper palfreys, black as jet, and hail thy vengeful wagon swift away, and find out murderers in their guilty caves. And when thy car is loaden with their heads, I will dismount, and by the wagon wheel trot like a servile footman all day long, even from Hyperion's rising in the east until his very downfall in the sea. And day by day I'll do this heavy task. So thou destroy rapine and murder there.
These are my ministers, and come with me.
Oh, are these thy ministers? What are they called?
Rapine and murder, therefore called so, cause they take vengeance of such kind of men.
Good Lord, how like the Empress's kids they are, and you the Empress. But we worldly men have miserable, mad, mistaking eyes. Oh, sweet Revenge, now I do come to thee, and if one arm's embracement will content thee, I will embrace thee in it by and by.
This closing with her fits her lunacy. Whate'er I forge to feed her brain-sick fits, do uphold and maintain in your speeches, for now she firmly takes me for Revenge. And being credulous in this mad thought, I'll make her send for Lucius, her daughter. See, here she comes, and I must ply my theme.
Long have I been forlorn, and all for thee. Welcome, dread Fury, to my woeful house. Rapine and murder, you are welcome too. How like the Empress and her sons you are! Well you are fitted, had you but a more. Could not all hell afford you such a devil?
What wouldst thou have us do, Andronicus?
Show me a murderer, and I deal with him.
Show me a villain that hath done a rape, and I am sent to be revenged on him.
Show me 1,000 that have done thee wrong, and I will be revenged on them all.
Look about the wicked streets of Rome, and when thou find'st a man that's like thyself, good murder, stab him, for he is a murderer. Go thou with him, and when it is thy hap to find another that is like to thee, good rapine, stab him. He is a ravisher. Go thou with them, and in the emperor's court there is a queen, attended by a Moor. Well mayest thou know her by thy own proportion, for up and down she doth resemble thee. I pray thee, do on them some violent death. They have been violent to me and mine.
Well, hast thou lessoned us? This shall we do. But would it please thee, good Andronicus, to send for Lucius, thy thrice valiant daughter? I will bring in the empress and her sons, the emperor himself and all thy foes, and at thy mercy shalt they stoop and kneel, and on them shalt they ease thy angry heart. What says Andronicus to this device?
Marcus, my brother, 'tis sad Titus calls. Go, gentle Marcus, to thy nephew Lucius, thou shalt inquire him out among the Goths. Bind him, repair to me, and bring with him some of the chiefest princes of the Goths. Tell him the emperor and the empress too feast at my house, and he shall feast with them. This do thou for my love, and so let him as he regards his aged mother's life.
This will I do, and soon return again.
Now will I hence about thy business, and take my ministers along with me.
Nay. Let rape and murder stay with me, or else I'll call my brother back again and cleave to no revenge but Lucius.
What say you? Will you bide with her whiles I go tell my lord the emperor how I've governed our determined jest?
I know them all. They suppose me mad, and will o'erreach them in their own devices. A pair of cursed hellhounds and their dam.
Madam, depart at pleasure. Leave us here.
Farewell, Andronicus. Revenge now goes to lay a complot to betray thy foes.
I know thou dost, and sweet revenge. Farewell.
Tell us, old man, how shall we be employed?
I have work enough for you to do. Publius, come hither. Caius and Valentine.
What is your will?
Know you these two?
The Empress' kids, I take them, Chiron and Demetrius.
Fie, Publius, fie. Thou art too much deceived. The one is murder, rape is the other's name. And therefore, bind them, gentle Publius, Caius, and Valentine. Lay hands on them and stop their mouths if they begin to cry.
Villains, forbear. We are the Empress's kids.
And therefore do we what we are commanded. Stop, close their mouth, let them not speak a word. Is he sure bound? Look that you bind them fast.
Come, Lavinia. Look, thy foes are bound. Sirs, stop their mouths, let them not speak to me, but let them hear what fearful words I utter. Oh, villains. Chiron and Demetrius! Here stands the spring, whom you have stained with mud. This goodly summer with your winter mixed. Killed her husband, and for that vile fault, 2 of her sisters were condemned to death. My hand cut off, and made a merry jest. Both her sweet hands, her tongue, and that more dear than hands or tongue, her spotless chastity, inhuman traitors, you constrained and forced. What would you say if I should let you speak? Villains, for shame you could not beg for grace. Hark, wretches, how I mean to martyr you. This one hand yet is left to cut your throats, whilst that Lavinia, tween her stumps, doth hold the basin that receives your guilty blood. You know your mother means to feast with me. She calls herself Revenge and thinks me mad. Hark, villains. I will grind your bones to dust, and with your blood and it, I'll make a paste, and of the paste a coffin I will rear, and make 2 pasties of your shameful heads, and bid that strumpet, your unhallowed dam, like to the earth, swallow her own increase. This is the feast that I have bid her to, and this the banquet she shall surfeit on. For worse than Philomel, you used my daughter, and worse than Progne, I will be revenged. Now, prepare your throats. Lavinia, come. Receive the blood. And when they are dead, let me go grind their bones to powder small, and with this hateful liquor temper it. And in that paste, let their vile heads be baked. Come, be everyone officious to make this banquet, which I wish may prove more stern and bloody than the centaur's feast. So now, bring them in, for I'll play the cook and see them ready against their mother comes.
The feast is ready, which the careful Titus hath ordained to an honorable end, for peace, for love, for league, and good to Rome. Please you, therefore, draw nigh and take your places.
Marcus, we will.
Record.
Welcome, my gracious lord. Welcome, dread queen. Welcome, ye warlike Goths. Welcome, Lucius, and welcome all. Although the cheer be poor, 'twill fill your stomachs. Please you.
Why art thou thus attired, Andronicus?
Well, because I would be sure to have you all well, to entertain your highness and your empress.
We're beholding to you, good Andronicus.
And if your highness knew my heart, you were. My lord the emperor, resolve me this. Was it well done of rash Virginius to slay his daughter with his own right hand because she was enforced, stained, and deflowered?
It was, Andronicus,
Your reason, mighty lord.
because the girl should not survive her shame, and by her presence still renew his sorrows.
Reason mighty, strong, and effectual. A pattern, precedent, and lively warrant, for me most wretched to perform the like. Still, die, Lavinia. Where's the camera? That didn't work.
Record.
A reason mighty, strong, and effectual, a pattern, precedent, and lively warrant, for me most wretched to perform the like. Die, Lavinia, die, and thy shame with thee.
What hast thou done, unnatural and unkind?
Killed her, for whom my tears have made me blind. I am as woeful as Virginius was, and have 1,000 times more cause than he to do this outrage, and it now is done.
What, was she ravished? Tell who did the deed.
Why hast thou slain thine only daughter thus?
Not I. 'Twas Chiron and Demetrius that they ravished her and cut away her tongue, and 'twas they that did her all this wrong.
Go fetch them hither to us presently.
There they are, both, baked in that pie, whereof their mother daintily hath fed, eating the flesh that she herself hath bred. 'Tis true, 'tis true. Witness, my knife's sharp point.
My frantic wench, for this accursed deed.
I'm sorry, guys. I thought it said, can the sun's eye behold her mother bleed? There's merit meet for me, deed for deadly deed.
You sad-faced men, people and sons of Rome, by uproar severed, like a flight of fowl, scattered by winds and high tempestuous gusts. Oh, let me teach you how to knit again this scattered corn into one mutual sheaf, these broken limbs again into one body. Come, come, thou reverend men of Rome, and bring our emperor gently in thy hand. Lucius, our emperor. For well I know the common voice to cry, it shall be so.
Lucius, all hail Rome's royal emperor.
Go, go into old Titus's sorrowful house, and hither hail that misbelieving Moor, to be adjudged some direful slaughtering death as punishment for his most wicked life.
Thanks, gentle Romans. May I govern so to heal Rome's harms and wipe away her woe. But, gentle people, give me aim a while, for nature puts me to a heavy task. Stand all aloof, but, uncle, draw you near. Shed Eusebius tears upon this trunk, oh. Take this warm kiss on thy pale, cold lips. These sorrowful drops upon thy blood-stained face, the last true duties of thy noble son.
Tear for tear, and loving kiss for kiss, thy brother Marcus tenders on thy lips. Oh, were the sum of these that I should pay countless and infinite, yet would I pay them.
Come hither, girl, come. Come and learn of us to melt in showers. Thy grandsire loved thee well. Many a time he danced thee on his knee, sung thee asleep, his loving breast thy pillow. Many a matter hath he told to thee, meet and agreeing with thine infancy. In that respect, then, like a loving child, shed yet some small drops from thy tender spring, because kind nature doth require it so. Friends should associate friends in grief and woe. Bid her farewell. Commit her to the grave. Do her that kindness and take leave of her.
Oh, grandmother. Grandmother, even with all of my heart, would I were dead, so I could live again. Oh, Lord. I cannot speak to her for weeping. My tears will choke me if I open my mouth.
You sad Andronicus, have done with woes. Give sentence on this execrable wretch that hath been breeder of these dire events.
Set him breast deep in earth and famish him. There let him stand and rave and cry for food. If anyone relieves or pities him for the offense, he dies. This is our doom. Some stay to see him fastened in the earth.
Why should wrath be mute and fury dumb? I am no baby. I, that with base prayers I should repent the evils I have done. 10,000 worse than ever yet I did would I perform if I might have my will. If one good deed in all my life I did, I do repent it from my very soul.
Some loving friends convey the emperor hence and give him burial in his father's grave. My mother and Lavinia shall forthwith be closed in our household monument. As for that heinous tiger, Tamara, no funeral rite, nor man in mourning weeds, no mournful bell shall ring her burial, but throw her forth to beasts and birds of prey. Her life was beast-like, devoid of pity. In being so, shall have like want of pity. See justice done on Aaron, that damned Moor, by whom our heavy haps had their beginning. Then afterwards, to order well the state, that like events may ne'er it ruminate.